Okay, who wants to read Mangalacharan prayers? Haribol. I can read also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Darati Svaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते कुबेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्याय देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Oh, was I muted? I'm not sure.
No problem.
No problem.
No problem.
So today we read
Hare
about
Krishna, Hare Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Hare
blessed
Krishna, Hare
Srila
Prabhu,
Hare
Tandatma.
Prabhu, Tandatma.
Haribo, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Haribo, Tandatma.
Prabhupada.
So today we read about Thomas Hobbes. That's maybe how it's said. How old was he? 71 years old. So he lived fairly long life. Okay, let's read what Thomas Hobbes wanted to say. Shama Sundar Das. It is Hobbes who declared, whatever exists is matter, and whatever changes is motion. For him, mental or spiritual entities are not realities in their own right, but are merely byproducts of matter. Spirit and mind perish when the material basis is destroyed. Srila Prabhupada. Spirit is not a combination of material conditions. If so, why not combine matter in such a way as to produce living spirit, living forms? Agrib Das. Hobbes believed that a substance incorporeal is contradictory because nothing exists in the world but bodies. He defined God as a most pure, simple, invisible spirit corporal. Prabhupada, why invisible? When Krishna came, he was certainly visible, for Arjuna was talking to him face to face. God's visibility or invisibility depends on God's own goodwill. He is visible to one who is competent or perfect. Not only was he visible to Arjuna, but he reciprocated by answering Arjuna's questions. If we become qualified like Arjuna, we can see God and talk with him. Then God will give direct instructions. God is invisible for one who is imperfect, but for one who is perfect, he is certainly visible. Shyamasundar Das. Empirists maintain that the only proof we have of anything is through our senses. Srila Prabhupada. We say that since the senses are imperfect, whatever you believe through them is imperfect. This is very simple. When when the sun rises in the morning, it is many millions of miles away. But can a child tell how far away it is? Who can really tell how far away the sun is? Sundar Das. They have invented certain instruments to measure distance. Prabhupada. Therefore, they have learned from some authority. Because they could not measure with their own senses, they have turned to instruments. But we should take the help of the expert instrument. But we should take the help of the expert instrument driver, Sri Krishna. What is the value of our senses if they are imperfect? So they take instruments as the authority, but because they are not perfect instrument drivers, they cannot use the instrument properly. So if Krishna looked through their imperfect devices, he would see perfectly, but they cannot see. Shama Sundar Das. So the mind or soul is not simply a physiological system. Prabhupada. The soul is a different energy. Heat and light emanate from the same source, fire. Nonetheless, heat is not light and light is not heat. Sometimes we may feel heat, but that does not mean that there is light. Sometimes we may have light, but that does not mean that there is heat. Still, heat and light come from the same source. Shama Sundar Das. How is it that the soul and mind are different from the body? Srila Prabhupada. They are not different, but they are being manifested in different phases. At the moment, we are experiencing sunshine and we are feeling heat from the sun. But if we approach the sun, we feel much more intense heat. If we approach very closely, we will be disintegrated. Shama Sundar. But how is that the soul is not but how is it that the soul is not produced by the body? How do we know that it is not a mere byproduct? Yeah, I was also thinking like this few days ago that when the scientists argue that we are the brain, then how to explain to them? Because they say that what we can observe is that only when there is brain, there is consciousness. So for consciousness to be possible, there must be a brain always. So from that, we can conclude that brain is the cause or the origin of consciousness. This is how they think. And it is asked here also. How is
But
it?
what about plants, for example? They also, we see that they have consciousness, but they don't have the brain as we know.
Yes, but their
So how to
consciousness
explain
is
this?
different, they don't feel like we do, and it's not the same thing. So this is what they say. Yeah, they say their consciousness is different, so we cannot compare. It's not fair comparison. They say it's like comparing a stone to a plant. You cannot compare the two. So why you compare plant to a human?
Yeah, but we can counter argue that all of us have these four common activities like eating, sleeping, defending, and
Yes,
mating.
Yeah,
But
actually, that they cannot
of
argue.
course, plants' consciousness is not as developed as humans,
but
but
still, they do the same things.
Yes,
the same.
yes.
They
Because
sleep
if
also.
you say
Yes.
if you say that the brain is the source of consciousness, and how to explain that plants also have
Yes,
consciousness?
Prabhu.
Because first
Yeah.
of all, we should define what consciousness is, and then we should seek for its origin. Otherwise, I don't know.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's true. So what Prabhupada will say, what was the question? But how is that the soul is not produced by the body? So by the brain. How do we know that it is not a mere byproduct? Srila Prabhupada. At death, all the physical parts of the body are present. But why is the man dead? What is missing? His heart may be present, but why is it not beating? All the parts of the body may be present, yet you can see that the body is dead. What is that is missing? Shama Sundar. Yeah, this is what I was going to argue. That impulses are no longer being sent from the brain to the heart. That's what's missing. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Standat from Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yes, Karthi Prabhu, I was going to ask you something about the editing, but then we started the reading session. So that's why I said, can you join?
Yes, Prabhu. What is the thing about the editing, Prabhu?
It was about the end part. I wasn't sure that should I include it like everything, but yeah, then I listened to it and I will just cut some few parts and I will put it like that. So I think there is no problem.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Unfortunately, I have to go and start studying now.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm
No
so
problem.
sorry. Thank
Yes, try to win the
Hare
exam.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhu.
Someone please shoot me, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu. We need you. No one shoot Karti Prabhu, okay?
Prabhu, there should be a quick bomb, just when I need it really quickly. I mean, there's tomorrow, day after tomorrow, there's exam, so someone has to burst this place.
Yes.
Whenever Karti Prabhu speaks of his university, he always thinking of bombing.
Yes, it needs to stop. It needs to stop the exams from going. Yes, Prabhu, try to
Yes, Prabhu.
manage with the exams and yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. So then Shama Sundar, he says, impulses are no longer being sent from the brain to the heart. Prabhupada. Yeah, that they say that is the reason that there is no consciousness because the brain, there was some chemical reaction stopped in the brain and this brain, then it didn't anymore send any impulses to the heart to beat. Otherwise,
Yes.
Yeah, this was also the Luvesh Prabhu's.
Yes, but Luvesh Prabhu also counter-argued this with the following argument that if it stops, then you should, revive it by some means.
Yes.
If it's a chemical reaction, there must be a way to revive the consciousness.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, we can always say that yes, that we agree that okay, the chemical reaction stopped, but why it stopped? It's not enough that you just say that for some reason the chemical what is the some reason? Why did it?
Yeah, they cannot
They say
explain.
some imbalance. Then you ask why, always why. They should come.
But there must be the cause of that imbalance.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. And if you know the cause, okay, they say, okay, we don't know the cause. If at some point they know, okay, it is this the cause, then should be able to repair it. That is the proof of that you know the cause if you can fix it. But if they cannot fix it, that means they don't know the cause. What?
If it would be honesty from their side if they admitted that yes, the body died and we don't know how to revive it. We don't know. But instead of that, they started speculating, and this is what we are against.
Yeah. And they're really convinced, actually, many of them, when I've talked.
Yeah, just be honest and tell that, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what to do.
Yes, Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada. But why has the brain stopped? The brain's construction is all there. What is missing? Why not replace what is missing? If you are a mechanic and the machine stops, you should be able to find the defect and immediately repair it. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, because actually the machine sometimes it's not even broken, but some reason the soul left. So, because some bodies they are not really like fully they would be able to like fix them or something, but still the soul lives. So they should be able to replace it. And yeah, you should be able to find the defect and immediately repair it. But no one has been able to do this with a body, no scientist or philosopher. They cannot meet such challenge. Hobbes is best known as political philosopher, and his most famous work, the Leviathan, he set forth his social political theories as Machiavelli had done in The Prince. Hobbes' ruling body or monarch, his mortal god, who was under the immortal god, was the Leviathan, who would rule above the law. Now, according to the Vedic conception, is the king or head of state above the law. Yeah, they come up with all weird words usually. Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
The king is also under the law. As we understand it from Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna imparted these laws to the sun god. Since the sun god followed these laws, he is compared to the common man, a supremely elevated being. The king is supposed to be the representative of God in the state, and the king's perfection lies in following the laws of Krishna. It is the king, if the king follows the order of Krishna, the king's orders are final. In Bhagavad Gita 4.1 and 2, Krishna says that he originally imparted the laws of Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivashvan, who imparted them to Manu, the father of man, who in turn imparted them to Ikshvaku. And in this way, Bhagavad Gita was received via disciplic succession and imparted to the Raja Rishis, the saintly kings. If the king rules according to Bhagavad Gita, he cannot be subjected to any other law. If the king follows the laws given by God, he is above mundane laws and conventions. Hayagriv Das. Hobbes compared man to a machine ultimately made by God, but he does not consider the machine to be controlled directly by God, but by the Leviathan, the king or ruler. Srila Prabhupada. No, God is situated in everyone's heart, and every moment he is witnessing the actions of the soul. He knows what the soul desires, and he sees how the soul is manipulating the machine of the body. This is clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddhesher juna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. If a person wants to enjoy this material world as a human being, God gives him the opportunity to become a human being. And if he wants to enjoy it as a dog, God gives him the body of a dog. This is all God's mercy. As long as the individual living entity wants to enjoy this material world, God gives all facility through a particular body. The body itself is material and is supplied by Prakriti, material nature. The machine is composed of material ingredients supplied by Prakriti, which follows the orders of Krishna, and it is given for the enjoyment of the living entity. The living entity or jiva sits in that machine and travels, just as a person travels in a car. He receives a particular machine in some species on some planet. There are innumerable planets and over 8 million different species. Due to his contact with material nature, the living entity desires so many things, and God is so merciful that he supplies all facilities. At the same time, God is a friend to everyone, and when the jiva is prepared to understand ultimate happiness from God, God says, "Give up all your nonsensical plans and surrender unto me." This is the living entity's perfection. And if he does not come to this perfect stage, he will constantly desire so many things. God will then supply an unlimited number of machines to go here and there, and up and down within this universe. Either you go up or you go down. When you go down, you enter the lower species, and when you go up, you enter the higher species. These include the demigods like Lord Indra, Lord Brahma, and there are different types of life, and some endure millions of years while others endure only a few moments. In any case, every opportunity is given by the Supreme Lord because He is the supreme controller. Man proposes and God disposes. As long as we continue to propose this and that, He will never be happy. But when we agree to comply with God's plans, we will attain happiness. Yeah, this was nice answer actually. It was like full lecture in one answer.
Yes, bro.
I agree with that. Okay, who wants to read next? Ribo.
If no one, I can do it, but Dimitri Prabhu, you can.
Vivek Prabhu, you can read if you want.
No, Prabhu, if you free, you can read it, but if you're not, I can.
I mean, I can read after you, okay, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, you can read. You are senior, so
No, I'm not senior, Prabhu.
also you can read, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. Okay. Hey, agree with us. Hobbes would say that
Oh, sorry.
since no, it's okay. Hobbes would say that since warfare is perpetual and the struggle for existence goes on and on, the Leviathan is necessary. It is the fear of death that drives man together into a social contract, and it is the Leviathan who places everything under a common power and authority. This Leviathan is like God's representative or lieutenant who has sovereignty under God. Shalurpada, yes, that is the perfection of monarchy. Therefore, the king is called Nripadeva or Naradeva, God in human form, Shyamasundar. For Hobbes, the Leviathan must be sufficiently strong to enforce the social contract, the law. It is he who can punish anyone who does not live up to his end of the bargain. In this way, society and peace will be preserved. Prabhupada. But who is the right man? Since men are always defective, how is this possible? This means that we have to accept a man or an authority who is infallible, who is beyond suspicion. Shimasundar. Yes, and therefore Hobbes says that such a man must be something like a mortal god. If such a mortal god cannot be found, a government has to be instituted. Prabhupada. Such a man has to be the direct representative of God. He not only has to understand what is written in the scriptures, he has to follow the instructions as well. This is the exalted position of the bona fide spiritual master. Sakshat daritvena samasta shastrairukas tatha bhavyata eva sadbihi kintu prabhoryaha priya eva tasya vande guru shri charana ravindam. The spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari Krishna. The spiritual master or guru is the direct representative of Krishna because he is the most confidential servant of Krishna. Therefore, his position is as good as Krishna's. He renders the most confidential service by trying to bring everyone to Krishna consciousness. Unless we come to that position, we will never be happy. Hobbes says that we have to find some sort of mortal God, but such a person must be one who actually knows God. We have to understand the qualifications of the bona fide guru from the Vedas. Then we have to approach the guru submissively. The guru is expert in transcendental Vedic knowledge and he has fully given himself to Krishna. He is no longer disturbed by anything material. He is full in Brahman realization and he is free from all material contamination. These are some of the preliminary qualifications of a godly man. But since Hobbes did not know these qualifications, he could never find such a man. Even when Krishna himself was present, not everyone could understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How will we be able to find a godly man unless we know what is God and what is a godly man? Wow. Yes. We don't know what is God and we're trying to find a godly man.
Yeah.
In order to find this out, we have to approach Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, our knowledge will remain imperfect. Shima Sundar. In Hobbes' case, a godly man is only necessary insofar as he is required to maintain peace. Prabhupada. But since godly man cannot be found, peace is maintained for a while. And then again, there's disturbance. Social contracts can never be absolute because things are always changing. A certain social condition may prevail for a while, but in 50 years it will be totally different. How can we make a social contract that will never change? It is not possible in the material world. In the Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual sky, the social condition never changes. It is eternal. The inhabitants there are pleased to be with Krishna and dance, eat, play, and live with him. That condition is eternal, Nitya Siddha. Krishna is always there, and he is always tending Surabhi cows. He is always playing on his flute, and he is always dancing with his friends, the gopis. Our business should be to enter into that eternal play, and that is the process of Krishna consciousness. Hayagriva. Hobbes claims that the Leviathan could not only be an individual, but also a group of individuals. Srila Prabhupada, yes. A group of individuals can run the government provided there are devotees. But if this group is composed of rogues and rascals, it cannot represent God. The representatives of God abide by the laws of God. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam navai vidurrishay napi devaha nasidhya mukhya asura manushyaha kuto nuvidya dharacharana. Real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although fully situated in the mode of goodness, even the great rishis who occupy the topmost planets cannot ascertain the real religious principles, nor can the demigods or the leaders of Siddhaloka, to say nothing of the asuras, ordinary human beings, vidyadharas, and charanas. Actual religion or law consists of what God Himself said. If we manufacture our own laws without referring to God's program, we will ultimately fail. Hayagriva. In Leviathan, Hobbes writes, some men have pretended for their disobedience to their sovereign a new covenant, made not with man but with God, and this is also is unjust. For there is no covenant with God, but by meditation of somebody that represents God's person, which none does, but God's lieutenant, who has this sovereignty under God. What? So complex. I didn't even understand what is this. Anyway, but might not this argument of divine right be used by a tyrant to discourage his subjects from rebelling? What guidelines are there to assure against this? Prabhupada, everything depends on the king's accepting the absolute instructions of God. In the Vedic civilization, the king absolutely followed the regulations given by God. The king's activities were confirmed by saintly persons, sages, and then they were carried out. It was not that the king acted whimsically. There was always an advisory board composed of saintly persons who knew the Vedas very well. The sages used to guide the monarch, and therefore the monarch was the absolute governing body. The ministers helped by the king was educated by God's direct instructions. For instance, Krishna gave direct instructions to the sun god, Bhagavad Gita 4.1. According to Vedic tradition, there are two Kshatriya administrative families, one coming from the sun god, Surya Vamsha, and one coming from the moon god, Chandravamsha. Surya, the sun god, is the original Kshatriya, and from him came Vaivasvata Manu. This is the age of Vaivasvata Manu, and from him came his son Ikshvaku. Krishna's instructions are explicitly given in Bhagavad Gita, and if governments throughout the world take them up, they will attain perfection. Then there will be no disturbances and there will be peace and happiness. That will make a perfect world. Krishna has given instructions in all fields of activity, but people are so foolish due to their demonic tendencies that they attempt to manufacture their own standards. If the heads of state are degraded either individually or collectively, how can there be good government? Okay, Vivek Prabhu, you can read next. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thanks so much. One minute, bro. Okay. Shama Sundaradas. I'm audible, bro.
Yes, Prema.
Thank you. Shama Sundaradas hopes contends that in the natural state, man is like all other animals, might makes right and the strongest always prevail. Therefore, it is necessary that man, from a social contract and volunteer to restrict natural liberties for the sake of self pres- preservation. Srila Prabhupada. That is not natural liberty, but ghostly liberty. There are many hunted people, and in their unnatural condition, they are falsely thinking I am God. The natural condition is to think I am God's servant. Any condition devoid of Krishna consciousness is unnatural. Krishna is the supreme, and I am his subordinate. My business is to render service unto him. This is the natural position. Shamasundar Das. Yet, when man group together in a society to preserve themselves, they make a contract to the effect that they will not kill one another. Srila Prabhupada, why not a group of asses? Uh, what is their utility? Do you mean to say that group because a group of asses conjurate conjurate, conjugate that some good will come from it? This argues Rogis are always making contracts after a big war. After World War One, they made a contract through the League of Nations, and that failed. Then they had a second world war, and they formed the United Nations and made more contracts. Eventually, that will all be dissolved again. These contracts and compromise may serve some purpose for the time being, but ultimately they are useless. Shisham Sundardas, men in the society volunteer. I will not kill you or steal your property if you will not kill me or steal my property. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that is the thief's contract. But after all, if you remain a thief, what is the improvement? Thieves may steal some valuable things and afterwards they congregate and say, let's divide the property honestly. Thieves are all dishonest, although they talk of honesty among themselves. Originally, everyone immigrated to America. Immigrated. And the whole land was stolen from the Indians. Now the thieves have formed a government and would not allow outsiders in without visa and passports and so many things. This is the kind of morality that is going on. Shyamasundar Das. Hope's social contract was mm, some something like the converse of the golden rule. Do not do unto others what you could not have them do unto you. Srila Prabhupada. That was also Buddha's theory. Lord Buddha pointed out that if someone hurts us, we we feel pain. Why? Therefore, should we hurt others? Of course. Third and fourth class men have to be taught in this way. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, kill them. Does this mean that Krishna position is reduced? It is the question of the intelligence of the men involved. Shamasundar Das. Well, Hobbes is trying to determine how society can live peacefully. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, people have tried many times, but have always failed. There cannot be any peace in this material world. Krishna says plainly, Brahma Bhuvana Lokha Punar Avritono Arjuna Mam Upatye Tu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are place all sorry all are places of miseries wherein repeated birth and death takes place, but one who attains to my avoid, o son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Since this is the place of misery, how can we establish peace here? We cannot. The material universe is structured in such a way that peace is not possible. As Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Samsaradhavanalila Loka, Sri Guru Astakam 1. This material world is exactly like a blazing forest fire. No one wants one fire in a forest, but it takes place naturally. No one wants to fight, but fighting takes place. How can we check it? Simply by making contract. We are thinking that the material world is a nice place to live, but this is like a man thinking that stool is nice because it has been dried in the sun. If the stool is soft, it is not so good. But in either case, it is stool. Padam padam yad vipadam na tesam. Bhagavatam 10.14.58. In this world, there is a danger at every step. Throughout history, people have tried to make contracts for peace, but it is not possible. One may refuse to submit to Krishna, but nature will not allow this. If we do not submit to Krishna, nature will punish us so that we will finally be obliged to submit to him. That is nature's law. If we voluntarily submit to Krishna, that is for our benefit. But if we do not, nature's law are so stringent that they will always give us trouble, and at the end we will be obliged to agree. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva Krishna is everything. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. If after many births of struggle we have to come to this point, why waste our time? Why not surrender to Krishna immediately? Otherwise, we will go on suffering according to nature's law. Shamasundara Das. Um, Hobbes is called a sorry, utilitarian, sorry, utilar, sorry, utilitarian, mm, because he accepts a thing only if it's pragmatic or useful. Srila Prabhupada, that is relative. A child is satisfied if you give him 5 rupees, but if you give his father 5 rupees, the man will think, what is the use of this? So the the utility of 5 rupees is relative. Hobbes' conception of utility is not the same as Krishna's conception. Arjuna was thinking that he was speaking like a very learned man, but immediately Krishna told him that he was not. Bhagavad Gita 2.11. All this is a relative. The hog thinks that he is in a comfortable position and he is eating very nicely, but he is eating stool and living in garbage. Crows believe on one thing and swans believe one another. An imperfect man like Hobbes may believe one thing to be paramedic, but one who is perfect may consider something totally different to be paramedic. Shyamasundar Das Hobbes accepted religion only as a practical instrument. He says that it doesn't have any real value as a science, but that it may be used by the state to pacify the people or to keep them confused. Srila Prabhupada. This means that he does not know what religion is. Of course, some people have made religion into a certain type of faith, but actually religious means one's inherent characteristics. Religious is to the living entity what sweetness is to sugar. It is an inheritance characteristics that cannot be separated. Every living entity is rendering service to someone. Everyone is subordinate to someone else or to his senses. It is the characteristics of the living entity to be subordinate and to render service. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Surrender unto me." Bhagavad Gita 18.66. That if our first business, but we are too busy trying to become Krishna. Therefore, we say, "I am God," or "You are God," or "We are all God." The living entity is not the supreme God, but he is playing the way. When a man is hunted by ghosts, he says many nonsensical things. Similarly, when the living entity is under the clutches of material energy, he speaks in such a way, Shamasundara Das. What about this idea of utility? What do you think of something being accepted only as long as if a useful? Srila Prabhupada, it is our foolishness that we accept something temporarily useful. Our real desire is to have eternal life. We want something that is eternally useful. But in the material world, or we are always being frustrated. We want to live here permanently, but nature will not allow this. Even if there is no disturbance in the form of war, we will still not be allowed to remain. Shamasundara Das, a utilitarian, would say that a thing should be used only insofar as it is required for some time. Then something else can be used, and in this way we can adjust things indefinitely. Srila Prabhupada. But another point is that no one wants thinking anything to change. Why? People want for permanence because they are seeking uh, they are seeking their eternal spiritual nature. Shamasundara Das Hobbes might say that although we may be seeking something eternal, we may employ temporary things just as long as they are useful. Srila Prabhupada. First of all, we must know what our eternal life is, and then we can try to use everything for favorable to further that end. Krishna is the ultimate goal, and whatever is favorable, he is helping us toward him should be accepted. That is real utilitarianism. For instance, Arjuna said, what should I do? Kill or not kill? Krishna wants me to kill. All right, I will kill. This is utilitarianism. Shyamasundara Das. For Hobbes, the goal is peaceful society. Srila Prabhupada, that is not possible. The goal should be the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Then peace will follow automatically. Shamasundara Das, his utilitarianism means that utilitarianism means the acceptance of whatever is favorable for the present preservation of society. Srila Prabhupada. In any case, society cannot be preserved. So many societies have come and gone. British society, Roman society, Greek society, only Krishna society is eternal. Knowing this is intelligence, Nitya Leela Pravista. Now he has entered the eternal society of Krishna. This is what we say when our Guru passes away. We are accepting Krishna as the Supreme and glorifying Him here on earth. This same process will go on there in the spiritual sky. In Krishna void, however, there it will take place in a perfect way. Here we are just practicing.
Haribo.
Ego.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, tomorrow we start new chapter, rationalism. Okay, now let's go to Siksastakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam sreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Namna Makari Bahutani Jusarva Shaktis Tatrarpitani Yamitah Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Maitrisha Mihajani Nanuragaha.
तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि.
Anandatanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishave Bhavam Butho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintayam.
नयनं वलदशूरधराय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचिन्तं वपु कदा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्य इतं शून्ययितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे.
Ashli Shiva Pada Ratam Pinashtumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotuvam Yatha Tatha Va Vidatha Pato Matprana Nathastu Saeva Paraham.
Haribo. Translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharajananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the autumn at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me overconhated by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribo,
Haribo.
Shastram ki jai. 10 offenses to the holy name.
Teacher,
Jai. The first offense, to blaspheme the devotees who had dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Okay, second
The
offense.
second offense is considering the names of demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva to be equal or separate from the Lord Narayan, or from Lord Vishnu,
Yes,
or
Prabhu.
independent. Okay.
Okay, third offense.
To disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in
Perseverance.
in relation to the portions of the Vedic version.
To consider the chanting of holy name as an imagination. Yeah. The glories of chanting, yes.
Is the next one Karma Kanda? No.
No. Karma Kanda is the 8.
Imagination.
Fifth,
Like chanting of Hare Krishna will be oh, that one.
what is 6?
The next one.
Of Krishna. What one?
To give the holy name your own interpretation.
Yeah, yes. To give some interpretation to the holy name. 7 is to comment offenses on the strength of the holy name.
Okay.
No, commit sinful activities, not offense. And
Yeah.
offense is also not good. But I made my own version.
Yes.
Okay, 8 one is to consider it as Vedic ritual, Karma Kanda.
Yes, to consider chanting as one of the ritual activities recommended in the Vedas, Karma Kanda. The next one.
The chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas. If you dare to find. The ninth one is which
to pre about preaching.
Yes, Prabhu. To instruct the faithless person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. To instruct the faithless person is what the purpose of the.
And the 10th one is to maintain material attachments even after knowing so much about these topics. And in addition, it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. To not have complete faith. Not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions of this matter. It is also an offense to be attentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha
Pititanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namaha.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Panchatattva ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Sri Krishna
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Sai Gaura Premanand.
Jai. Haribo.